I will be reviewing the latest release of the SocialQ dashboard. It includes a minor feature and a minor bug fix. So the feature is this filter that it's included on the growth view. In this growth view, the data can be either filtered by the most recent tweets or by the top or by the tweets during the last month. This happens for mentions as well as it happens for hashtags. And this is the original one, and this is the PR. And the fix is fixing the engagement rate on the 7-day average. It previously had an undefined value in the computation for certain edge cases. So let's see how this rolls out. This is the PR. And in here, I'll be updating. Here I made the changelog. Let's start reviewing it. So the first part is the update of the docs and the planning for this feature. The update is not really relevant for us at the moment, but I do like to showcase what I've been doing. Normally I have, before jumping into a new release, I document what I intend to do. In this case, I do this by adding a changelog with a brief summary of what I intend to do and making a sort of top level to-do list with the main goals that I plan to accomplish. In this particular case, I require to update the algorithm for fetching the initial data. And here I did do two different cases when a user was new and when I was updating an existing user. And documenting this gives me some time to think about what I'm about to engage with. Since the data models are different because it was previously a plain object, now it's a nested object, I needed to modify the data object. I was intending while planning the feature to add a lot of different time filters. In this case, while developing, I decided to settle at the end on only two, the latest at the top, that were the main contributors, and that allow me to give to not over complex or make over complex the architect, the fetching of the tweets. And finally, I like to schedule my work. So start and here I set tasks for Tuesday, for Thursday, and for Saturday. So that's basically the start of it, and it's the documentation. And after the documentation, I moved to updating the data model. In here we can see that that the data model has a couple of growth filters. In here, previously it had mentions and topics. Now it has iGrowth, so it's a nested object, and it has these filters, latest and tops. So the object at the end looked relatively similar, and I updated a helper function in here. And the third task was about refactoring. You can see here that this component that previously had the GrowthList, so the GrowthList is this part, including these tabs, was growing larger with more than 200 lines, so I exported it into an independent file. And besides that, I did a small modification of the interfaces. So I declared this root type growth that included the title, the keyword. The keyword is either, since this component is reduced, the keyword is either mentions or hashtags, and a couple of functions whenever I click in here or in here. So that's the basic type. And after that, I set different data objects either for the whole panel or for the list. So the whole panel has a nested data attribute that includes both of these filters, while the list has only the keywords that go into them. So that was the refactor. And the third part was the implementation of the filter. To see how this looks from the growth panel perspective, and this is the header of the panel. After the title, a drop down is declared when the font icon is the top component, and after that comes the menu that is actioned by a hover action, and it has two tabs: the most recent and the top, and this data is dynamic based on the keyword. Whenever I click on or the user clicks on either of the menu tabs, it starts by changing the active. So the active defines the class. In this case, if I change in here, the blue shifts from one. That's part what the set active is doing. And after that, it changes how the insights are sent to the growth list. So that's on the panel part. And then on the growth list, it's only a major change, minor change. It has a use effect that listens to changes in insights or active, and the changes in insights so the insights come from the top level component, and the active refers to these tabs. And whenever either of those are changed, the data is computed based on the tab that it's active, and that happens when either of these is clicked. Just to finish this, it was very easy to for the KPIs to be fixed. I only included a 0 for those edge cases, and the other part was updating the fetch script. The fetch script, instead of the mentions on the topics, I added a helper function. In this case, the latest filters out the latest 100 tweets, while the top only gets from the whole tweet object, from the whole tweet array, gets the top 50 keywords based on engagement. Here, there's a function, get engagement, based on engagement. So that was how the fetch script was done. And the last part was installing the new library font also. That was mostly about it. Thanks for watching.